You could ask 50 different burlesque performers what burlesque is and get probably 50 different answers, but the answer that I would give is that while historically burlesque has been a form of theater arts used to shine a light on or parody or poke fun at current events, things that are happening in real time, contemporary burlesque, sort of what's been happening since the 50s onward, is still that, but it's also performed through a number of different arts, including theater and striptease, which is what most people know burlesque as. Next, I'm so sorry. Down and hold and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm fucking dying. Why did I tell you to do this? It's kind of like when you're looking at a swan gliding across a pond. It's very beautiful, very elegant, but just under the surface of the water, its little feet are going a mile a minute. And that's kind of what a lot of burlesque is like. If you're looking at a number that's fully formed, there is so much work and so much thought behind it that an audience member might not initially think of. Burlesque is not sex work, but it is not inherently better than sex work. It's not inherently better than club stripping. As a form of erotic entertainment, they're often placed under the same umbrella, but they are different in the expectations that an audience tends to have, and they're different in the expectations of the spaces that you see them in. I make my own costumes for a number of reasons. It can be kind of tough to find pieces that are like in sizes that work for my body. An appreciation for different shapes and sizes of bodies was something that I found through burlesque that felt very lacking, especially in my early dance education, in doing ballet as a young person and doing jazz as a young person. I always felt very othered by my size because my body is not a dancer's body, so typically teachers would spend less time working on things like corrections, would spend less time working on investing in me as a dancer because there was the assumption that I would never pursue it actually. Like I wasn't here to do this for real. As a Black artist who wears their hair natural, I've definitely had sort of that backhanded compliment of like, oh, I like that straight wig so much better than your other hair. I've gotten photographs back from a show where the photographer just doesn't know how to shoot darker skin. Being put in shows that otherwise are extremely status quo, and it's a clear attempt to say, look, we have one. It hurts to see that happen in an industry that's supposed to be welcoming and that's supposed to be accepting and that's supposed to be progressive. It's painful to see that lack of care. There is an intense polarization of the two things that it's acceptable to be as a Black woman on stage. And generally those things are loud and angry, or loud and funny. Those are typically the two. And then there's that other sort of dichotomous thing of either being over or non-sexualized. You're either like a sexual aggressor, a Jezebel, or you're a mammy archetype. And there feels like there is no good option in terms of those perceptions. So another exciting sort of like reclamation has been to be able to say, what if instead of a cardboard cutout of a person, I'm just a person. Like, what if instead of a cardboard cutout of what you think a black woman does, I'm doing what a black woman does right now? And what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to improve the issue of representation in Ottawa's specifically burlesque scene. Right now, I've been doing that through my casting process for my main show, as well as through working to create spaces for people of color. This show is happening on February 14th, and it is only, I think, the third, maybe the fourth show in Ottawa ever to have an all-black cast. I mean, if there's a million teeny tiny cracks in a dam, that sure, there isn't a huge hole, but you still have a bunch of cracks in a dam. If microaggressions and small injustices lay the groundwork for larger injustice. So if you're not taking steps to address things on a micro level, you're allowing the problem to get worse.